The review process is an essential part of Pims document control. Our focus has been to streamline the process and to make sure that reviewers have a practical tool to review their documents and drawings. I'm Johnny Vik, product owner of Pims document control in Omega. Reviews can be made both online using our browser-based review tool, or it can be made offline using, for example, Adobe Reader. This is a high-level overview of the two main variants of how the review process can be configured in Pims. On the left side, we see a quite traditional approach. It starts by the contractor submitting the documents, then document control checks the documents, document control distributes the documents, the reviewers provide their comments, the comments responsible consolidates the comments, and finally the document controller sends the comments back to the originator. This is a quite labor-intensive approach, requiring manual work to process incoming documents and to processing the return of the documents. The most automatic approach is shown to the right. Here Pims takes care of some of the manual work, like processing incoming and returning the comments back to the originator. Pims supports both, and it can be configured differently per contract. Also, a combination of these two variants can be set up, for example having a quality check by the document controller before it's automatically distributed for review, but when returning, automatically notifying contractor when comments responsible is done. There are a few different types of review supported by Pims. The most commonly used is the parallel review, which is typically used for externally produced documents. All the reviewers can comment in parallel. It requires a PDF file, and a PDF file with the consolidated comments is generated and sent back to the originator when the review is finalized. When using the simple review, no review status code is set and no PDF file is generated, typically used for simple reviews of internally produced documents. Finally, the mixed review, where one can be reviewing different types of files, including non-PDF files. But let me show you how this works. It typically starts by the contractor or originator submitting some documents. This can be done by using our web app for this. It's also possible to submit the documents using API. Then, depending on how Pims is configured, these documents can be distributed automatically for you, or like in this case, the document controller can validate it before it's imported to the main document register and then distributed for review. The document controller can also adjust the distribution setup for this document. It's also possible to initiate the review process manually, like in this case we have an internally produced procedure that we want to initiate review for. So you can see the review type is by default then set to simple, and I select the reviewers and initiates the review. In this case, I'm logged on as a user that has some documents to review. He goes to his Documents web app and use the filter reviews where I'm a reviewer. You can also go directly from the front page to these documents to review. Finds the document, click on review this document, and he can load the comments that has been made by the other reviewers of this document, and he can use the various annotation tools to comment on this document. If any other reviewers make comments at the same time on this document, an icon will appear up in the right corner indicating this. Click on it, and the comments from the other reviewers will then be loaded onto the document. There are different annotation tools, including various drawing tools, like here Cloud, that can be utilized as well. Double click to add some text associated with the cloud. Pims also supports doing the reviews offline. In that case, I would go to the File to Review section, download the file, and it will open in my preferred PDF tool. In this case, it is Adobe Reader. I can then make my comments using the annotation options that Adobe offers, and post it, and then I will save it locally. In this case, I put it down to the desktop folder, and then I go back into Pims and upload this file. Pims will then extract the comments from this PDF file, and it will also be shown on this PDF review tool here directly in the browser. So when I'm done, I click Submit My Comments. The normal, typical way to configure the review process is to have one comments responsible that consolidates the comments. In this case, I'm logged in as a comments responsible. She chooses the filter review around comments responsible and find the document that she wants to finalize the review of. Click on review this document, and by clicking view all, she will see all the comments that has been made on this document by the different reviewers. Typical way to start the consolidation process is to add all the comments into the response and then just remove those that she doesn't want to include in the response back to the originator of this document. You can also modify the text on it or add additional comments if that's required. When done, the comments responsible select the review status code and clicks finalize. Then a PDF file will be generated that includes the comments that was consolidated by the comments responsible, and this will be then made available for the originator of the document, either directly automatically, or if the process is configured in a way that document control checks it before it's sent back to the originator, that's also possible. To follow up the ongoing reviews, one can go to the section called Review Follow-up and click on Ongoing Reviews. Here one will have an overview of all the documents that are currently being reviewed, including additional information like how many days are left for the review, who is comments responsible, who are the different reviewers, who have reviewed it so far, who have not reviewed it, the number of comments that has been received, etc. This data can of course be exported to Excel, and one can filter in various ways, for example, depending on what contract it is, specific discipline, depending on the comments responsible, etc. So that was a short introduction to how the review process works in Pims document control. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.